So now rate of reaction depends upon a few things. Number one is nature of the reactants. If the reactants are ionic in nature, their reactions are faster. So ionic compounds react faster. You know already they contain positive and negative end. So reaction rate becomes fast. Whereas covalent compounds react in a slower way. That is why organic reactions are slow reactions. Concentration of the reactants. If I take larger quantity of the reactant, more of it will change into the product, and reaction rate will depend upon the concentration of the reactant. Now what happens is, as the reaction proceeds, reactants become less and less, so reaction rate also becomes less and less because it is depending upon the reactants, concentration of the reactants. So reaction rate does not remain the same throughout. It goes on decreasing as the reactants are getting consumed after some time. Surface area. Surface area means that I have a reactant, say, in a solid state or in a liquid state. So reaction rate changes. And if I have, say, a solid with me, what I will do is that I will first crush that solid properly and change the surface area into a larger area. If there is a larger area, reaction rate increases with surface area. That is why you had learned in class 10 finely divided iron. Finely means very fine pieces of iron are used as a catalyst in Haber's process when we were using nitrogen and hydrogen to form ammonia. So surface area should increase, then reaction rate also increases. Catalyst we already know increases or decreases. So we write alters the rate of reaction. It can be a positive catalyst which increases the rate of reaction. It can be a negative catalyst which decreases the rate of reaction. With temperature, reaction rate increases because the molecules get energy, they become more kinetic in nature, they collide with each other more, and so reaction rate starts increasing with temperature. For every 10 degrees C rise in temperature, reaction rate doubles. Now, how does a reaction take place? There are two important things that you must know, which is that when the reaction is taking place, molecules are colliding with each other, and there should be, we also know that all reactions do not take place at room temperature. That means you need to give them some energy sometimes, and you must have a proper orientation. Now let's first point I'm saying is orientation. So orientation means that if I have particles of A and particles of B, particles of A and particles of B, and I want the product to be A and B. So particles of A should come in contact with B. Not that A is coming in contact with only A and B is coming in contact with only B. They should be oriented, should be inclined in such a way that they come across this way. Only then the product is formed. So this is called proper orientation. This is point one. Important point is that the particles must also have a perfect amount of energy to react. That is why we say that all reactions do not take place at room temperature. Some of them do take place, but otherwise if the reaction needs some energy, we have to provide that energy, and enough energy should be present with the molecules so that the product is formed. And so what happens is, supposing there is this much amount of energy already with the reactant. So I'll say this is energy of the reactants. So this energy of the reactants is not sufficient so that the product is formed, although they are colliding with each other. So I will say all collisions are not effective collisions. They are just colliding with each other, not giving you the product. So we'll say these collisions are not effective. They are not giving us the product. So supposing this much is the energy already with the reactant, which is not sufficient to give me the product, I'll give some heat and reach it to a level which is called a threshold level from where the reaction will start. This energy that I am giving is called energy of activation. So first the reactant had some energy. I gave it some energy which was energy of activation, and now this energy, total energy, was at this level, which is the threshold level, and now at this level it was sufficient. The product is formed. When the product is formed, we will see whether the product contains how much energy. Now this energy is the energy of the product. So it initially had more energy, now it has less energy. So according to law of conservation of mass and energy, where has that energy gone? So that energy comes out in the form of heat, and we say that the reaction is exothermic in nature. Understand again, initially the reactant had some amount of energy. You provided activation energy to it to reach this threshold level. Reaction changed into the product. Now the product has less energy than the reactant. Extra energy came out in the form of heat, which is showing it this reaction is an exothermic reaction. Similarly, if there is another situation where this is the energy which was with the reactant initially, we gave it some activation energy to reach this threshold level. So at this threshold level, the product is formed, but the product now has more energy than the reactant. Reactant had less energy, product has all this energy. This extra energy, it must have absorbed. So that is called an endothermic reaction. So exothermic and endothermic reaction can be shown with this. So the point is that according to collision theory, the particles or the molecules are colliding with each other. All collisions are not effective collisions. All of them are not giving me the product. Only those collisions are effective which should have both these things. That is, they should have a proper orientation, they should be in a proper alignment. That is, A should come in contact with B only, then the product will be formed. Or there should be enough energy with the reactants, that is, threshold amount of energy is present with the reactants, only then the product will be formed. If the reactant is giving you the product immediately without any heat, that means this much energy was the threshold energy. Threshold was at this level. You did not need to give it this much energy. Now when we have a catalyst, what happens with the catalyst? If it is a positive catalyst, the positive catalyst changes the activation energy, reduces it, and gives the product earlier. So actually the rate of reaction is increased. How? That the activation energy that I had to give, so say about I had to give 50-degree temperature. Now I don't have to give that much, I'll give only 30-degree temperature. So the product will be formed at lesser energy. So less amount of energy will be formed and the reaction rate will increase, because now at lower temperature only the product will be formed. The quantity of the product will remain the same. Catalyst does not change that. Catalyst does not initiate the reaction. It is not starting the reaction. Initially, we need to have the reaction started. Then if I have put some catalyst, it is going to reduce the activation energy and change the reaction rate. If I have a negative catalyst, that is going to increase the activation energy. More and more temperature will be required, more time will be required, and so reaction rate will decrease. So with positive catalyst, reaction rate increases. With negative catalyst, reaction rate decreases.